Kalan faced growing public suspicion for his outspoken views, and in 1952, while abroad, his re-entry to the United States was revoked. He settled in Switzerland, where he lived for the rest of his life. The ordeal showed how even Hollywood's greatest icon could be driven into exile by rumor, fear, and politics. 14. Hedy Lamarr. By 1966, Hedy Lamarr, once celebrated as the most beautiful woman in the world, had faded from stardom into public controversy. That year, she was briefly taken into custody in Los Angeles after being accused of shoplifting. Lamarr maintained it was a misunderstanding, and the charges were quickly dropped, though the headlines were relentless. Ironically, her greatest legacy wasn't beauty, brilliance. She co-invented a frequency hopping system that later inspired Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. Her brief legal trouble became symbolic of how harshly Hollywood treated its aging stars, a genius reduced to gossip by the very world that once adored her. 15. Lionel Atwill. In 1942, Lionel Atwill, best known for Son of Frankenstein and Mystery of the Wax Museum, faced legal trouble after giving misleading testimony about a private gathering at his home. When he later clarified his statements, court sentenced him to 5 years probation, sparing him prison but not public embarrassment. Hollywood reacted quickly. Universal Pictures canceled his contracts, and other major studios distanced themselves. His career shifted to smaller, low-budget productions. Yet, Atwill never stopped working. Despite the setback, he continued acting until his death in 1946, a once great star who refused to fade away. 16. Mabel Normand. Mabel Normand was one of silent Hollywood's brightest stars, a gifted comedian and close collaborator of Charlie Chaplin. But in 1922, her life changed forever when director William Desmond Taylor was found dead under mysterious circumstances. Mabel was the last person to see him alive, and though never charged, she became the focus of endless speculation and rumor. 2 years later, another scandal arose when her chauffeur accidentally injured a man using her gun. Once America's sweetheart, Mabel's reputation never recovered. She spent her final years battling illness and public scrutiny, a tragic reminder of how swiftly Hollywood can turn on its own. 17. Mary Miles Minter. Mary Miles Minter was one of Hollywood's most adored silent stars, a wholesome beauty groomed to follow in Mary Pickford's footsteps. But in 1922, her name became forever linked to tragedy when director William Desmond Taylor was found dead under mysterious circumstances. Police discovered personal letters from Minter to Taylor, and though she was never connected to the case, the revelation shocked the nation. Her image as an innocent girl collapsed overnight. Within a year, studios cut ties, and her once brilliant career ended at just 21. She lived quietly for decades afterward, a young star undone by Hollywood's relentless appetite for scandal. 18. Joan Bennett. Joan Bennett was one of Hollywood's most glamorous actresses, until scandal struck in 1951. Her husband, producer Walter Wanger, discovered her meeting with agent Jennings Lang in a parking lot and, overcome with jealousy, confronted him, an incident that quickly spiraled out of control. Bennett was never charged, but the investigation and media storm devastated her reputation. Wanger spent several months in jail, while Joan's career collapsed almost overnight. Once a respected star of Fritz Lang's noir classics, she spent years in obscurity. Her story shows how, in Hollywood, one scandal, even one not of your own making, could end everything. 19. Ingrid Bergman. In 1950, beloved actress Ingrid Bergman, star of Casablanca, shocked America when her romance with Italian director Roberto Rossellini became public. Married at the time and expecting a child, she faced nationwide condemnation. The U.S. Senate even denounced her, calling her a negative influence on society. Though she broke no law, Bergman was effectively exiled from Hollywood and lived in Italy for several years. When she returned in 1956 to film Anastasia, she won an Oscar. Her redemption after years of public outrage. Her trial was waged not in court, but in headlines, showing how moral judgment could end a career as surely as any verdict. 20. Clara Bow. In 1931, Clara Bow, Hollywood's original It girl, faced a scandal that nearly ended her career. Her former secretary, Daisy DeVoe, accused her of inappropriate behavior, gambling, and reckless living, even as DeVoe herself stood trial for theft. The press sensationalized every detail, turning Bow into a national spectacle. Though she was cleared of all wrongdoing, the relentless headlines left her exhausted. Struggling with anxiety, Clara stepped away from Hollywood before she turned 30. Her crime was not wrongdoing, but daring to live freely in a world that punished women for independence. Behind Hollywood's golden glow were stories of fame, mistakes, and redemption. Some stars